Hello, and welcome to Foundation Friday, March 8th, 2019, March 8th. I believe that this is the anniversary. I believe it was probably 1971, maybe, which would make it 48. Today would be the 48-year anniversary of the fight of the century, the Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier, their first fight. Ali Frazier I believe it was on March 8th, and I think it was 1971. Anyway, that's 48 years ago. Today is Foundation Friday, and what the heck are these boxes doing right here on my desk in the middle of the video? Well, I'm going to illustrate a point. We're going to open them up, and we're going to illustrate a point. So the title I made for this video, today's Foundational Friday Foundational Business Building Tip, is the world's best business card. And no, it's not some little dinky thing that I'm sure I have lots of people's business cards on my desk here. Well, actually, I probably don't, because you just toss those things. I mean, they come and they go. But a book is the world's best business card. So make sure, first of all, that you publish your own book. See, that's me right there, Steve Sipress. So you publish your book. And then make sure you always have copies of your book, and your assistants and your employees always have copies of your book, because the best answer to, hey, what do, is here's my book. And then you can sign it to the person, and you can write them a note on the inside, blah, 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 blah. Here's how I can help your business. Give me a call. Or I got an idea for you. Give me a call. So you want to let people, that business card, people will, you go to events or you meet people, you get their business card. If you even don't just leave it on a table or toss it right there. When you get home, you're like, what was this all about? Whatever. And at least 95% of business cards are just forgotten about. But a book, nobody throws out a book. I mean, rarely. People just don't throw out a book. Second of all, as it sits on their desk or on the shelf somewhere, it's a constant reminder, oh, yeah, I met that guy. Oh, yeah, I got to call that guy or that gal. I got to call her about whatever. Okay, so now this first book, this is the easiest way to get your own book. You co-author a book. See, that way you don't have to do all the work and fill the whole thing up yourself. So this is my first bestseller that I ever published. At the time, I was running a group, a chapter, for these two fellas right here, Bill Glazer and Dan Kennedy, known as Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle. And so I got them both. Well, actually, Dan, I had to pay for Dan to submit the content for the book, because he's Dan. You got to pay him for everything. But Bill Glazer wrote about 10 pages. And when I say 10 pages, this book is all single-spaced. And so it's all, I could have double-spaced the whole thing and put in a whole blank, bunch of blank pages and stuff to elongate it. But basically, Dan's stuff took up the first section of the book up till here. So that's that chunk of the book was by Dan. And then here's Bill Glazer's chapter there. Chapter 13 is the number on it. And that went on for, I remember, about 10 pages. But again, 10 pages, 9 pages, double, single-spaced on the page there is taking up the whole, that's a lot of stuff that Bill wrote. And then Lee Miltier. Those are the three big names in the Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle 10 years ago, back in 2009. When I wrote and published this book. So I got Lee also to submit a chapter for the book. And then I wrote and contributed about 40 or so pages to the book. If I look at it, I guess I could have looked at it before, but it was about 15 or 20 chapters, about 40 pages. This chunk of the book was mine. And if I had single-spaced the thing, and added in blank pages, after each chapter. So instead of there being this on this facing page, it would have been blank. And I put a big number, chapter 22, and I put some big blocks like this in here, and quotes and pictures and whatever, and double spaced it and all. That easily is about 80, 90, or 100 pages. Add in the introduction, the acknowledgments, the table of contents, and a little about the author thing. You've got over 100 pages, and that's good enough to have a book. So I could have just published this myself as my own book, my story. But what I did is I gave the opportunity to some of the members of my group, and about 10 of them Yep, there's their names on the back there. So 10 of them, I gave the opportunity to be contributing authors. So they all had the opportunity to get their book, and instead of my face and name on the front, it would be their face and name on the front. And you can see that after I kind of exited the Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle after Bill Glazer sold the company, I renamed my group Chicagoland's Sharpest Entrepreneurs. And prophetically, I put that on the cover, and I even think if I could find it in here, that I had in the back. So I had my Dan's chapter, Bill's chapter, Lee's chapter, my chapters. Then I had 10 of my members' chapters, and then they all signed the copy of the book to me. Thank you for the help and this and that, and let's see what all said. They all said some nice things, which is nice. I hope they did. There's fantastic Janelle Nagy. Steve, thank you for all your patience, encouragement, and wisdom. You make many lives better. God bless you. And Michelle Janelle. Very nice. Okay, so that's a fringe benefit. You get people signing the book to you. But then at the end, I know that I put in an end chapter on all about the group and why you should join the group. And there it is. See, I use this cartoon from my good friend and brilliant entrepreneur, Mike Capuzzi, who has a site called Copy Doodles and includes what he calls these copy comics that you can download when you're a member of that website, and you can customize the caption of. So I downloaded this photo, and then of people going to a seminar with all kinds of dollar signs and ideas, and I put down that it's the home of Chicagoland's Sharpest Entrepreneurs. And who knew, about 4 or 5 years later, I renamed, or maybe it was about 3 years later, I renamed the group Chicagoland's Sharpest Entrepreneurs. Who knew? And so then I told the story of why you should join the chapter and what's going on. You can see I kept using more of these copy comics through here. That filled up some more pages. And then in the back, I had some of my members who were contributors in the book were able to contribute photos to the book. So this is... who is that? I guess that's just in general about the group, but I had also the chapter members put their photos in. So there's Dr. Dobala with his clinic, his Horizon Medical Center, and there's a great Phil Brakefield with all kinds of different promotional items that he sold and still sells to this day, over 750,000 items. There's Mike LaFido, who's one of America's #1 luxury real estate realtors, and he teaches other real estate agents how to sell luxury real estate and has listings. You can go to his website. You can see him. 5 million is like the slum on his website. He's got $10 and $20 million homes constantly listed. So Mike's doing really great. Back then, he was a part-time real estate agent and a high school teacher and football coach. So he's done really well. And in the back, I had some, in the front and the back, had some blurbs for some people saying some good things about the book. And so that filled up a book of 240, about 250 pages, 245, and then plus a few in the front and the back. So I got about a 250-page book by having other contributors in the book, and you can do the same. You can become a contributor. So each one of these people became a best-selling author because the book became a bestseller. I have a whole system for that. I'm not the only one. You can find plenty of people that know how to promote the book so that people buy the book and it pushes it up to the top of the rankings and becomes a bestseller. And then every one of these contributing authors gets to say for the rest of their life, you can never take it away, they're a best-selling author. So number one, it's a great business card. Number two, it's the best positioning tool. Positioning meaning it positions you in people's eyes as an expert. It moves you from just another of whatever you do. I'm just another doctor, lawyer, plumber, heating and air guy, dog walker, beauty salon owner, whatever you are, to, wow, you wrote the book. And I also gave an option to people that they could title the book with their own title. So they got their face on the cover, their name on the cover, their name on the spine, and their title on the front of the book, and their blurb about them on the back of the book. And that was all the premium offer I gave. And likely that's happening whenever you get in these collaboration multi-contributor books. They might give you that option. Take them up on it. Now you have your own title, basically of your chapter of the book, And then it's you that is seen as having other contributors in your book. It is your book, and you're a best-selling author. And when you hand this to people, I can just tell you stories from several of the people in here that if you contact them, they'll tell you that they made six-figure deals just by sliding that book across the table, and people going, oh, we're choosing among 4 or 5 people, but you wrote the book on X, positioning you as an expert in the industry, that you wrote the book on how to hire the best plumber in Dayton, Ohio. Well, you just position yourself as the best plumber, the #1 plumbing expert in Dayton, Ohio. So after they read your book or your chapter and they say, now who are they going to call to do their plumbing? They're going to call the guy that wrote the book. You're at least going to get the first shot at the deal. You could blow it, but you're going to get the first shot. And who doesn't want the first shot? Hopefully everybody. Speaking of which, George is here, Rich is here, Jim is here. Good seeing you. And so what do I got here? I got a couple of boxes. Oh, and I got this. So my contributing authors made this up for me. Very nice framed version. That's the actual book framed in this frame and hanging on the wall. And that's very cool. They all became the best-selling authors, as did I. And so now I get into these books all the time. I get offered these opportunities to get in people's books, and I almost always just say, sure. And I either repurpose something I already have. I have one of my videos transcribed. I have a blog post edited. I have plenty of stuff I've already written. If you haven't written, 500 words or so, that's talking for like a minute or two. So if you can't talk for 1 or 2 minutes about your industry, your business, to position yourself as an expert, tell people the 3 things they got to know before they purchase X, whatever it is you do. The 3 biggest mistakes people make when they shop for a X, whatever industry you're in. If you can't do that, you're in the wrong business, right? So of course you can talk for 2 minutes about your business, get it transcribed. Now you have a 500 or talk for 5 minutes. You got a 1,000-word chapter that you can now look to get in with other people in the industry when they're putting a book together like this, and get it in there, or even outside the industry, even better. Now you're the only one in your industry in that book. Best of all is you do what I did here. You put the people together. Make sense? Then you call the shots, and you get, if people don't take like in this case, the authors that didn't take the premium offer of having their own name of the book and face on the cover and all that, the ones that didn't take it up, it was me having my name and my face on the cover of, and now they're all handing out the books. These books are not to sell. I have sold, I don't know, I get a check once in a while from Amazon. I mean, I've sold some copies of my book. I put a price of $20, and once in a while somebody buys one. Great. I get a check for, a couple of bucks. You're not making this book to make money. The point is not to become a best-selling author so that you can become the next J.K. Rowling or Stephen King and make millions of dollars of selling your books and turn it into movies. That's not the idea. Again, it's a business card. It's a positioning tool. You're going to print them up and give them away to people to position yourself as an expert. Here's a copy of my book. You put it on your website. Give me your information, and I will mail you a copy of my book. Now you collect their information for the price of about $3 that it takes to print up a book and throw it in the mail for another $2-3. So for about $5, you've now gotten their name, their address, phone number, email, anything you can ask for, because you're sending them the free book. So for $5, you get all their information. If you can eventually turn, let's say you get 100 prospects that are so interested in your industry and what you do that they all request your free book, so that's 500 of them. So that's times $5 each is $2,500, and you can't land a whole bunch of clients from that, make a heck of a lot more than $2,500. Again, there's something wrong getting a different industry. So here's the deal. This arrived, it was shipped on September 26th, 2018. So you see this one here, shipped on September 26th, 2018. Still have not opened the box. And this one just arrived this week, and my beautiful wife Michelle was like, ooh, what's in the box? And I'm like, you know what? I'm in so many of these books now. I'm a published author like dozens of times over. I don't even open the boxes anymore. This has been sitting around for 6 months, so it's high time we open this up. I know it's in the box because this one happens to be I contributed a chapter to a book co-authored, actually spearheaded by the daughter of a good friend of mine, and I just mentioned him. He's the creator of Copy Doodles, Mike Capuzzi, and he contacted me about a year ago now and offered me the opportunity. He said, my daughter is putting together this book all about rescue doggies, and would you like to? I know you had a dog, and our dog passed away about 3 years ago, but would you like to contribute a chapter? And so here it is. There it is. I finally have opened the box. And so he's got a little lift note with it. Thanks so much. Thank you for supporting dog rescue and adoption. Please share the book with friends and family. All profits and book sales go to support dog rescue shelters. So all these books, not all, what did I buy, 10 of them? Yeah, 10 books. But whatever I paid for these 10 books went to support dog rescue shelters. Very nice. And then enclosed your copy, including the 10 books were included. Oh, so I think I paid $100 or a couple $100 or something to put in the chapter, which is not normal. A lot of times I just invited to put in a chapter, but in this case, very happy because the proceeds went to the rescue shelters. And I can order additional books at only $6.25 a piece with an email, and that's Caroline Capuzzi, who I met, by the way, I have to say, when she was a 6 or 7 year old girl, like over 10 years ago, and now here she is publishing a book. So way to go, Caroline, and let's check it out. Right away on the top, we love it. 100% of the proceeds of the book support local dog rescues, and it is amazing stories of the indescribable love only a rescued dog can give. And on the back, you see, you got the contributing authors, everyone that supplied a chapter. And I see a whole bunch of my friends there, and there's Phil Brakefield, who is, you might recognize the name, he's also a contributor right there in my book. Second name on the list, Phil Brakefield. And here he is in Mike Capuzzi's book, Phil Brakefield. So Phil knows what he's doing to get into these books as well. And Phil actually is he's big with the Chicagoland dog, I forget what it's technically called, Chicagoland, I get the emails all the time, Chicagoland Dog Rescue or whatever it's called. He's really big with the rescue doggies and gives a lot of his time and energy, and a whole bunch of my other friends in here. Look at that, who knew? And there's my name, Steve Sipress, on the list. There's Sherman, there's Mike Rivette, Jeff Giannakovo, all kinds of Madison Basak. How do you like that? And Brian. Those are Matt Basak's kids. How cool is that? So in here somewhere is a chapter by me about our beloved doggy, Emmanuel. And let's see. I'm presuming it's in here. Be funny to contact Mike and Caroline 6 months later. Hey, just noticed. I just opened the box, and there it is. So got to put in a photo of me and my dog. You might recognize that if you ever seen my Facebook profile. That is the one and only photo I've ever used for my Facebook profile photo. It's me, our beloved doggy Emmanuel, which Emmanuel in Hebrew means God with us. So if you spell God backwards, he is our dog with us. Hence the chapter of the book. So I got to write a little bit about the Animal House Shelter, the aptly named Animal House Shelter, named after the world's greatest movie of all time, Animal House. I was like, our doggy has to be there. It's called Animal House. And that's it. It's like 5 pages. Really nothing to it. I mean, it took me, probably a day. I mean, I wrote it, put it down, came back, edited it, whatever. And then I got a little bit about me. Kind of cool. And there it is. But the whole thing is a labor of love. It's not about me, or this is not like, the calling card, the business card that I hand out. However, this is a great human interest piece to hand out. So I could have gotten 100 or 200 copies of this book, and I still could do that and hand them out when people come to events or where I'm speaking, or I host a lot of mastermind groups every month. I host another group I'm starting in April that'll meet 2 times a month. I do a big all-star entrepreneur mastermind 3 times a year, and I could give every attendee copies of this book, would they see how brilliant I am at business strategies and sales and advertising and marketing and helping business owners make money? No, but they would see some human interest, and that would help my positioning as not necessarily as an expert business consultant and strategist, but they would see a human side of me, and that would help as well. So that's Dog Joy, Caroline Capuzzi, including my chapter. So there I am, and I'm pretty sure that became a best-selling book, and so that's another time I'm a best-selling author in there. Now we got another box. This one just did arrive last week. So this one I have not nearly been as remiss opening up. And I know what's in this one. This is with another good friend of mine, another brilliant, extremely brilliant entrepreneur who's built his own also multi-million-dollar business from scratch, and he consults and coaches other business owners. I even became a client of his and got some coaching advice from him as well for speaking and coaching. He has starred on an ABC TV show called The Secret Millionaire. If you don't know who I'm talking about yet, it's the one and only James Malinchak. So this book is called Reach Your Greatness, 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 Greatness. Reach Your Greatness, Greatness, Greatness. I think it's really just called Reach Your Greatness. The top thought leaders share their secrets for living an extraordinary life. You see what I mean by positioning? See, I didn't remember the title or the subtitle, but this subtitle doesn't it not position me as what? As a top thought leader. It says so right there. I must be a top thought leader because I'm listed as a top thought leader. In fact, I'm one of the 682 top thought leaders because just about everybody's a top thought leader. However, when you realize there are 8 billion people on the planet or something, and these are some of the top thought leaders, well, now it sounds a little better than just, wow, I guess everybody is in here as a thought leader, and I'm guessing that my photo is here somewhere, and is it alphabetical? No, so that doesn't help, which is good. That's known as an involvement device. Little side lesson for you there. If you don't make things easy for people to figure out, then they got to spend more time consuming your information. So in this case, not being alphabetical and not going in order of who has the most hair, because then I'd clearly be at the bottom, or who's the shortest, I'd be at the bottom. Oh, there I am. There you go. Nearly the bottom. So maybe it does go by hair or height. And so there's my photo, and in here somewhere, if that corresponds, my chapter would be kind of late in the book. Wow. Secret number 53, 54, 55, 56. A lot of secrets in here. What was that mean? Yeah, look at that. I am near the end. I'm chapter 59. I'm secret 59. The money is in the marketing. No longer a secret. I just showed the whole world on this video that the money is in the marketing. So I wrote up this chapter. This probably also took me, actually, this is it. That's it. It's one page. No wonder there's like 60-something of us in the one book. So that's the whole page. So now that I think about it, if I remember, I didn't write it. I took an article or likely a transcription of one of these videos I had done, and I had transcribed it and made it into article, and I just cut it down and took probably only the first, couple of paragraphs. I remember now, James was saying it's just a secret. It's a quick secret. Everyone's just going to give one tip, one secret. And so there it is. And on the next page, it's about me. Where is it? Oops. I'm going to go over here. About me. So that's the whole thing. My whole chapter is one page of a secret, one little tip, and behind it is about me, and that's it. And so James put a whole bunch of people in here, and then it's even got a blurb from one of the original sharks on the Shark Tank show, Kevin Harrington, who I've met. Is an interesting guy. This book will help you to reach your greatness. So that helps too, that he is endorsing the book. And then I'm a sharp leader. I'm a top thought leader in here. So there it is. And I'm sure that James made this a bestseller. I'm not sure, but he probably did. And so there you go. And you can see my my bonus tip by doing this yourself, is there a lot of work involved with herding cats and getting everybody to get in their photos and their submission and their bio and their this and that, and all on time? And of course, there's work to be done. Of course, you hire someone to do that work. And if you need someone, I have a friend that is actually his name is Mike Lewis, I'll just tell you here, and he's known as the book guy. So I've had him do some of my books. He and his wife, Carolyn, they do the herding of the cats. They get the cover art done. They make sure that the cover is the right, it depends on how many pages are in, so it's the right width when they print out the cover art and the introduction. They do the editing and the spacing and the types and all this kind of stuff. And then they get the ISBN number. That's this barcode on here. And so it's in the Library of Congress, and they put it on all the Amazon and Barnes & Noble and whatever and this and that. Get somebody to do all that stuff for you. Come on now. But then you see, as a bonus, James gets to put on the back here, free gift from James.com. Go get the free gift from James. Is there a free gift from me and from everybody else in here? No, because James put it together. And therefore, he gets rewarded because he gets to promote his thing with that free gift. Because as you know, I'm sure, as a good student of myself and my videos and what I teach, and I'm a student of others, and make this up, that's what is known as a lead magnet, a free gift. But then that leads to follow-up, just like when you give the free book. So that's the last tip I'll give you here, is when you give away these books, as the calling card, the business card, get the name, get the card in return. Get the name and contact information of the person you give the book to. That's the whole point, is you give them the book. Now, don't just depend on them feeling like happening to remember and call you. Put them into your marketing systems and continually mail them your newsletter and your sales letters, and send them to your websites and send them emails and give them phone calls and invite them to your events and your webinars, your in-person events and all that kind of good stuff, and let them know when things are happening. Oh, I just published in another book, or I put out a blog post, or I was interviewed on this radio station, and keep them updated so that eventually when they're ready to buy whatever it is you sell, are they going to go searching for somebody and wonder who does that thing? They go, oh, yeah, that guy, Steve. He's always sending me his magazine and his blog post and his videos and his this and that and this. He's the first one I'm going to ask, right? So this, I got, now it's a blank piece of paper was included in there, but then I got a whole case of these. I don't know how many this is, but it's a pretty big box. This is just filled with copies of this book. I got a whole case of these books. I don't know if there's 24 or 30 or whatever it is. So I got a whole bunch of these to give out. I got a whole bunch of my Dog Joy to give out. Got a whole bunch of all kinds of other books I've been in to give out, and you should too. That's the foundational tip for today, Foundational Friday, on the anniversary of Ollie Frazier 1. And Rich says, what's with the boxes? Well, apparently I didn't see that early enough, because I think by now Rich knows what's with the boxes. They're full of books, which is known to sharp business owners as business cards and positioning tools, because still, no matter how many newfangled apps and websites and devices and internet and whatever comes along, nothing beats the printed out physical copy of a book to position you as an expert. If people say, what do you do? And you say, go to my website, good luck. Everyone has a website. I'm not going to your website. I'm standing right in front of you like, here's a copy of my book that says, the 3 things you got to know about heating and air in Podunk, Idaho. And you're in Podunk, Idaho as a heating and air guy. Like, ooh, who knew? You must be the expert, the #1 heating and air guy expert in this area. So that's what books do for you. And if you can't or don't want to go through all the trouble and expense of publishing your own book, first of all, you don't have to get your book accepted by some major publisher. That's 20 years ago. Now there's self-publishing. So you can use companies like I mentioned, Mike and Carolyn Lewis, the book guy, they'll publish it, and get other imprints that'll publish it. And you can do just like I did with a copy of my book that's right here. I published it myself. So I called it, I don't know what I called my publishing here, because you got to put something on the official whatever page it's called, the publishing page here. Authorized publisher, Successful Selling Systems, Inc. There you go. So I published it myself. I could have called it Rhino Publishing or Steve Publishing Inc. or whatever you want to call it. Self-publish, okay? That just means, just like this, I didn't have to get videotaped by a TV crew and have them send out cameramen and reporters and whatever. That's 20 years ago. Now you've got YouTube, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got whatever, all these sites, you can publish your own videos. You don't have to wait until you're interviewed by a radio station to publish your own podcast. You might be listening to this on the Rhino Daily Podcast. You don't have to wait to get your articles into a major publication. You can put up a blog. Now you are publishing your own articles, and the same thing with a book. You don't have to wait until Harper and Row contacts you and says, yeah, no, we don't accept your manuscript, or whatever. You know what? I got a good idea. I'm ready. I don't care about selling the books. I don't care about getting them in bookstores all over the country. I just want something I can give people that's about 47,000 zillion times, that's a mathematical calculation, more powerful than just handing them just another business card like they get and they throw out all the time. So get yourself into a multiple contributor book and somebody else is the quickest, easiest way to do it, or you put together your own book, or more advanced, you invite other collaborators to contribute to your book, which helps to defray the cost and helps to bulk it up. And plus, like I said, I've now got 10 people all giving out all their copies of their book. James has all 60-something people giving out copies of the book that has his free gift offer, his lead generation, his lead magnet on there that attracts people to him. So there's almost no downside to publishing a book other than the time, the energy, and the money. But again, if you don't have the content in your mind, if you don't know enough about your business to come up with 5 pages, 500 words, 1,000 words, even in this book, you see I've got 1 page. And if I'd never been a published author before, with that 1 page, 3 paragraphs or something of that one secret, technically I'm a thought leader and I'm a published author. And if the publisher does it right, I'm a best-selling author at that. So that's my advice. That's the foundational, basic building tip. Get yourself a book. Do it yourself. Do it with others. Invite others to do it you. But one way or another, get yourself into books, many books, and then get them out there all over the place. That'll do it for Foundation Friday. And I thank everyone for being here live, whether I said hello or if I missed you. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. As always, have a fantastic weekend. I will be back tomorrow, as always, on Social Media Saturday. I'm going to be sharing a tip for you on how to make money specifically with the social media websites. So thanks for being here today, and I will catch you tomorrow. Over and out. Bye-bye.